I want to get into Germany in a moment. Just quickly, US election, it's getting tighter and tighter. And I'm reading some of the polls that are saying Trump has now regained those swing states. She's taken Biden out on a campaign trail. I'm not so sure that's a good move. What do you think?
It's very tight. It's as tight as it gets right now. And the average polling, it's pretty much a statistical tie. You can look at whichever poll, 1 point this way or the other. So if you look at other indicators beyond the polling, it reveals that the momentum is a little bit more in Trump's favor, and she may have peaked in momentum. Things like the pace of registration of votings from each party, who's requesting mail-in ballots is depressed for the Democrats. Where she's campaigning in New Hampshire, Minnesota, Virginia, states that typically would not be, they're like tier 2 battleground states. So it shows that she's a little bit on the back foot, and bringing out Biden, I think, is another indicator. The one twist could be if he resigns between now, we've got 62 days left to go, she becomes the incumbent.
Yeah, incumbency is really important.
He won't, because he wants to give Hunter a pardon. He's not going to
do that on his way out.
On the way out the door. I guess, you know, the challenge for her is to move beyond the vibe and get into policy. The challenge for him is to stay on policy.
That's right, and stay on message, which he has been doing recently, but you never know.
Yeah, he has
62 days.
The cut-through, though, with the left media in the States makes it harder for him. Just on this issue in Germany, the re-emergence and strong electoral wins for the far right. We know Merkel took in about 1 million illegal migrants, allowed them amnesty to stay. It's been simmering now in that almost decade since that happened. Tell us what's going on the ground, Michael.
In East Germany, the AfD, the Alternative for Deutschland, is strong because of the authoritarian tendencies there. And every stabbing by ISIS, like in Solingen, helps these people wherever they are in Germany. But I can't believe in Catholic Bavaria or in civilised West Germany, west of the Elbe, that AfD will do as well as they're doing in the East.
And this is playing out in France. We've seen it play out in Spain. It's now a phenomenon that's ripping all the way through Europe.
And it does tie back, we've talked about this many times, to immigration being the key issue. And it feels like a wide open field for anybody who's willing to take on that issue, but still be a little bit moderate in other ways. There's just such an opening for the right. But in the absence of that, for the centre right, not willing to touch that issue, you will see more and more of that pendulum swinging, further to the right, because that's just a
It could kill British Labour, that issue. Especially since they just don't seem to have any way of dealing with all of this illegal immigration. It's all very well to torpedo the Tory plan to take people out to Rwanda, but what are you going to do?
What's your plan, B?
What's your plan?
Where are you up to with the debate, the not debate, sitting on the fence, all the rules that they want to have?
And just building on what we talked about before, it's in her defense, in her interest, Kamala's interest, to just run out the clock. And I think a lot of this, she's going to stretch it out and eventually do one debate, just because you can't not do a debate. Who knows what concessions they'll make. Going by the interview that she did, I don't think we'll expect to see a lot of substance coming out of it. She's just going to continue doing the vibe, maybe get a zinger here or there, but I don't think it's going to change the direction.
Can you imagine an Australian political leader or a British political leader going through all the way to campaign day on the back of one stage interview and maybe no debate?
It's outrageous. And, Jake Tepper and George Stephanopoulos should pull their socks up. It's up to them to see that both candidates are examined on policies. What's Kamala's policy on the border? What's her policy on fracking? What's her policy on the economy? All of these things. How can you elect a president of the United States, a leader of the free world, who said nothing about Ukraine, nothing about the wars in the Middle East, just
she's a product.
Vacuous?
She's not a candidate, she's a product and the result of a marketing campaign by a party.
And all the people that have been running the show behind the scenes for Biden want to keep running the show behind the scenes for Kamala. And we need to know who those people are.
But the left-wing media shouldn't play along with it. Tapper's too good for this, in my opinion.
Thank you, team.